if it had a Delver, I think that would be marginally keepable,
Yeah.
given that you can ponder and preordain your way down. But speaking of personal experience, you cannot guarantee
Well, he kept it. He kept the one
one
lander.
land
So
is going to
he's
get you
going for the one land
there,
ponder.
even with that dig. Okay, I mean, I respect him for it. I don't know that it's necessarily a bad keep. It'll depend on what he sees off the top. So, looks like he's looking at something there, and they don't look like lands. So I don't know if he's going to choose to take those cards or just to shuffle and dig deeper. Okay, looks like... Oh, he managed to find a Delver off it too.
So you got a Delver and you got a second
Has
land.
the
That was a
remover.
pretty effective preordain.
Oh, yeah. And did he see something else non-land to put on top? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So he's got a pretty good start here. Now, of course, Jordan's going to make him sad by
Yeah,
removing
he's got the
his
victim of night, and he's
creature,
got a verdict. He's got loads of ways to do it, and now's the best time when there's nothing he can do about it. There is a chance.
Right.
Okay, it looks like he's going to wait until the upkeep. That's a little risky.
Well, no, he wants to be able to see the card. And he's going to wait until the upkeep, wait until it resolves, and then
Right, but
he's going to kill
this
it.
lets him have the counter magic up, which is the risk of doing this, because this gets verdict is going to be countered here.
Well, but that's fine because he has more removal.
Right,
That's
right.
the thing.
That's
he,
fair,
he
I
can
guess.
draw out. He can afford to draw out the counter spells, take the tempo loss there, and then negate the tempo on his turn and turn it on its head essentially. So we'll see where that goes from here. I'm trying to find their game in the lobby. But yeah. Looks like that's basically what happened there. So I presume...
All right, he's going to cycle that land at the end of the turn. That's right. And now he's just going to finish it off with the victim of night.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The only thing is he could have just saved the cycle until end of turn. I don't know if it mattered. No, he probably wanted to just do it and see what,
Yeah, just get it
what
out
he
of the
was going
way.
to get off of it. By the way, I am on a bit of delay because I'm actually watching the stream.
Oh, okay.
I can't seem to find their game
Huh.
in the matches online.
Well,
I don't
Troy's
know
going to
why.
ponder. He's going to see a Stormbound Geist, a Deprive, and... I don't know what the third card was. Oh, he's just going to shuffle, so it doesn't even matter. He draws a Gush out of
Nice.
that.
So what's he looking to do here? Is he looking for land so he can spell stutter?
Well, he right now I think he's thinking about this Gush. He's looking at it,
That makes sense.
and if he wants to
This
do
is-
it, this main phase is the
this
right
is a good
time
point for it.
because he's got the open island, so he can float a mana and maybe. Yep, it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have a land drop. He needs to draw into some, so he may as well.
And so he sees a Delver and a Preordain. That's pretty good.
Okay.
So he can play the Delver, play another land, and now cast a Preordain to make sure his Delver flips.
Yep. That's pretty strong.
And he's going to Preordain. He's going to see an island and a Ponder. Island, I imagine, he's gonna leave them. Let's see here. He probably wants that fourth land, so he's gonna leave them both on top. Oh, and I think he. Okay, so yeah, he drew the island, left the Ponder or whatever it was, the Preordain on top.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The third land, my mistake. I double counted the one he played.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, so he's drawing into the land, and then he's going to leave that on top.
So
Which is
Jordan's Sign
exactly
in
what he should
Blood.
do.
Nothing Troy can do about that. He draws Kumbad Witches and a Chainer's Edict, which he's going to go ahead and cast just right now while it's clear to get rid of that Delver.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you know he set it up, and now he's put Troy at such a tempo loss.
Right.
I mean, the boards are completely clear.
So now
He's
Troy
only done 5 damage.
Troy's going for the Ponder here. I kind of like the Stormbound Geist. Ponder sees Island, Frostburn Weird, and Counterspell. Frostburn Weird is fairly solid, except for all the removal in Jordan's hand.
Well, except that the Frostburn Weird scales with the amount of removal that Jordan has.
Right.
Because the more removal Jordan has, the more he wants Stormbound Geists. And he has two of them, and he'll be able to lay them down. So he can lay one down, lay another one down, lay a Spire Golem down, and he's in a pretty good situation. Now, that means he can't counterspell magic up during all of this point. All of this,
Yeah.
though. So that's the dangerous thing here. We'll see. So it looks like we're getting a Rager and maybe a Sign in Blood.
Seems a little aggressive on life. He does both.
Or Golem.
What's going on? Come on.
Okay, I think they finally noticed that. I asked him to pause. Nope, they didn't. Okay, we're back online though. It looks like.
Yeah. We
So,
just lost
we
one of the.
missed
Oh,
a
there we go.
couple
Everything's
right
sorry.
there.
Everything's back. Sorry about that, guys. We're having continued technical difficulties, but it looks like everything's back under
Yes.
control.
So you didn't miss too much. There was a Stormbound Geist. There was an Oubliette. There's now a Spire Golem. So nothing I think that we didn't see coming except for drawing the Oubliette. So
All right. So yeah.
I'll see you.
All right. So yeah, we've told them to carry on, and they've just resumed.
Good.
Yep. Victim of Night just gonna take out the Spire Golem. Probably gonna be countered by a counter spell.
Yeah, I would think so.
Although, as you all
Just-
know, Troy has a habit of letting things resolve that really shouldn't. So looks like he's he's
I don't know,
opting
though,
to
'cause-
snap the Spire Golem instead.
I get behind that. I think I agree with that. Because
Okay.
he can recast the Spire Golem if he draws a land for just 1 mana.
Right, and the
So-
counter spells are much more valuable here.
Mm-hmm. And he's more interested in countering something like Gurmag Angler or Gary. So,
Yeah, and Jordan's just gonna
By the
ping with the
way-
witches here, just because.
yeah. Yeah, he's just trying to push through damage, I suppose. Because he assumes that he's going to be able to gain a bunch of life off of the dudes that he has in play
The,
right
well,
now.
the
which
one
is
argument for
probably
just
correct.
countering the Victim of Night is that this leaves him with a blocker.
It's true.
Because it was, it was Victim at the end of turn, so he didn't have a chance that turn to actually recast it.
Yeah. That's a fair point. We'll see what he decides to do.
Looks like Jordan's
if
going with some rats
Jordan
here.
just goes chittering rats.
Yep, that looks like exactly to be what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Troy
See
is
what the
nonplussed and
response is.
just puts the counterspell. Oh, actually, he's going to counter it. He didn't make my mistake and let the card resolve. And then we're going for a Sign in Blood.
Yeah, so that's got Jordan in a really good position here.
Jordan
Because-
seeing, I think he just drew double Kumbaj Witches off of that Sign in Blood.
Oh my goodness.
That's kind of hilarious.
Here's a cloud of fairies. It's not doing much, but
Nope.
I guess it's better than nothing. It might even have been better to cycle it, but I guess Troy wants to have the spell starter sprite, but there's nothing that he can counter for 1.
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
think
this
cycling
play
that
is.
may have been more useful. Unless he's expecting to draw more spell stutter sprites, which is a bit silly.
Looks like Troy is debating between Spire Golem and Frostburn Weird.
Mm-hmm.
He can, of course,
That's-
cast both, but that doesn't seem like a great play here since he's going to want to leave counter magic up. He
Right.
goes with the Spire Golem.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. See, it's entirely possible that Jordan just lays out a Colombage, which is here. Oh, okay, there goes the activation. Yep.
Oh, did you manage to
I mean,
finally
that's-
find the game to spectate?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So, all right. We'll see if we finally see this angler. Jordan, one thing that he's real good at is just slow rolling.
Oh, yeah. And here he drew a Rager that he's going to cast first.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely good.
Yeah, that's got to resolve before too long. I've got most of the videos ready on my computer. I just need to finish processing them and putting them up online. All
Alrighty.
right, so it looks like we're
I think, yep, I
and
think we're
he's
back. Hold on, I
okay.
think I got
And
the same hand on both sides, it looks like.
yeah, you've done
Interesting.
something correctly there.
I'll fix that here in a moment.
Sure. In the meantime, Jordan's aiming for the blowout. We'll see if Troy decides that this is worth spending a counter spell on. I don't think it is. This is just straight value. Okay, he decides to counter this figure.
Which is exactly what Jordan wanted him to do.
Yeah, I mean, either way that he comes out of that trade, Jordan is in a good position. Is he just going for the angler here? Yeah, he is. Because he's got him tapped out. He knows that Troy does not have dazes in his list, unlike some cool people. So, yeah, that was very good play by Jordan. And that's the kind of play that's gonna get him pretty far in this matchup.
Alright, we got the hands back.
So what are we seeing over there?
He's got a weird, a spell and two spell starters right, and he's just gonna cast the weird.
Yep. So the spell stutters, again, not really doing much. But honestly, the Frostburn not doing much either. I think he might be correct to attack with the Spire Golem here,
Yes, it's definitely possible.
just to get in those points of damage. Because if Jordan has to activate the Kuumbash Witches, then
Yeah, Troy can ping him
that's
back,
the
and
damage.
it definitely makes any future Sign in Bloods a lot worse.
Yes. So if Jordan can manage to draw into a Gary here, that's going to be pretty much game.
Yeah.
But aside from that,
And
he
Jordan
could
sees a
have rough time
Rager
with
is
it.
what he draws.
Okay, and he's going to throw it down.
Go ahead, yeah, to see if he gets anything here.
Yeah, that's fair. There's nothing that he's... There's not enough pressure from Troy's side of the table for him to be really worried about anything. What's he get
just
off it?
draws a swamp that he just casts.
Okay. How do you cast a swamp? I don't understand. Now, is he going to attack with more than one thing?
I don't know. He's thinking about it. Nope, just the angler.
Okay. Once he figures that Troy's...
And no blocks.
Okay. Yeah.
And yet another witches post combat. Just, why not? Nothing Troy
Yeah.
can do about it.
Maybe even another witches. Who knows?
Yeah, I can't think of any reason not
So
to.
many witches. Yeah.
Yep,
They're
and there
not
it
really
goes.
doing anything, but they're adding devotion.
Yep.
They're not. It's not like they're going to draw out counter spells or anything. So
Right,
we
right.
may as well just throw them out on the table.
And Jordan's just going to go ahead and flash in an end of turn spell stutter sprite,
Sure.
which isn't going to do a
Yeah, Troy's
whole
just-
lot here.
Oh yeah, it is. It's going to block that angler.
Well, it's not going to survive until that turn, so there's that.
No, the other spell stutter sprite. Oh wait, it isn't because there's so many Kuumbash witches. But that's more damage that's marked on Jordan.
That's true. That's 3.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's 2 points of damage. So either he gets another turn to attack him with the Spire Golem. Yeah, that's a really good play.
Oh, but he's just going to
He's
swing
not.
in.
You know, that's actually fine as well.
Yeah.
Because that still forces through the damage.
Yeah.
It makes him activate the witches. Oh my goodness.
What? He's
That
going
is
in.
ballsy.
He's
Like,
going in with the team. That is bold.
I think that was a mistake.
Oh yeah, definitely.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's absolutely a mistake.
Jordan can just pass
Sweet.
here, right, and then just swing for the win.
Yeah.
All right, so we had some technical difficulties, but we are back.
Okay.
So yeah,
Back to it.
so yep, we're just seeing some pumps.
But yeah, I think that
So Jordan could have just thrown one of the Ragers underneath this weird, right, and it would have been fine.
he could have thrown the witches
Oh,
under
yeah.
the weird,
Yeah.
and it would have been fine. Now Troy can then use this to push in. He can use that to kill the witches.
He can, but it looks like he went for the face instead.
That's fair. I mean, it gets him that much closer to the end again. Did he play a land already this turn?
I I don't know, and it doesn't really matter for
Well,
Troy.
because he could have pumped two more and killed. No, no, no. He declared the blockers the other way. All right. So there, it could have actually mattered the order in which he declared the blockers, but it didn't.
And I think so. Jordan drew an Unearth. I don't know if that makes a difference.
He can get a Chittering Rats
Yeah,
and hope that that puts him in an awkward situation. But as far as winning, not so much.
so the thing is here that basically Jordan can't activate his witches anymore.
Right. Realistically, he needs to just attack in with basically everything because none of it's going to be able to block the stuff of Troy's that has flash,
I
which is just the spell stutter sprites.
I think that Troy's gonna end up getting
So
this
that's why
game
he's going
actually.
forward. He's very close to it.
Well, because he's got a
Um,
sprite in hand that he's just gonna.
He's just going to flash in. Yeah.
Because this isn't a lethal attack, right? Oh, it is a lethal. It's exactly a lethal attack, so he has to block here. So Jordan isn't. So Jordan isn't actually dead yet.
Right. But Troy's got to mitigate
But this
what? Two creatures from the next attack?
and this chittering rats looks like
Oh,
it's
there's
happening.
the Chainer's Edict.
Oh, that
Flashback.
I forgot that was a card.
Yeah, it's been sitting in there since the beginning of the match, and that's going to swing this one
Yeah.
right
See,
to Jordan.
I was thinking even Jordan could play that chittering rats to lock out
Yep.
that card, but that this is just a much more efficient solution.
Yep. So, there
Yeah.
goes game one. Good
Yeah.
work.
So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna have them just because of time, so that no one loses on time. We're gonna have them exit out of here and remake this game. Duress I like here.
Mm-hmm. You like it everywhere, of
Of
course.
course, I of course advocate for the main board Duress. Troy's bringing in a relic. He's bringing in more Stormbound Geists.
Right.
He brought in a Stitch Drake, but just one. That may have been a mistake when he was clicking on the Stormbound Geists.
Well, what is that one again?
It's a 3/4 that yeah, and, for 3 as additional cost to cast an exile creature card from your graveyard.
Okay. So it's just a really good beater that matches against all of Jordan's creatures.
Yeah, he's bringing in 2
That's
more
fair.
Cloud of Fairies.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
He's bringing in more. He didn't have that many Cloud of Fairies
Meanwhile,
before.
on screen you can see Jordan's sideboarding here.
See, the thing is, Kumbaj Witches really shuts down Spell Stutter Sprite to the extent that in my matchup against Jordan, I think I took them out. I think I took out the Cloud of Fairies and the Spell Stutter Sprites almost entirely. I think I left a few Cloud of Fairies just because they're
So Troy submitted very
good to
quickly,
be able
but
to throw down. But
it looks like he kept in 2 Spell Stutter Sprites. He brought in a lot of stuff. Meanwhile,
Who he took out,
Jordan's
then?
still looking. He looked like Jordan brought in 4 Duress. I like it. He took out
saw it.
2 Anglers and 2 Oubliette.
really, the Oubliette I can see because
All right, well,
you
now
can
he's put the
Oubliette
Anglers.
out.
He's put the Anglers back now. I think he's just trying to figure out what's going where.
He took out the Chainers.
Yeah,
That's surprising. I guess he's assuming that Troy's going to have these tiny creatures, the 1/1s,
yeah.
Cloud of Fairies and whatnot that he can
He
sacrifice.
could.
So
So
those
it
are
looks
less
like he took
useful.
out all the Chainer's Edict and the Gets Verdict. So, all right, and we're back.
But he's not bringing in the Death Knight or the Corrupt. So interesting.
It's very
And
interesting.
he took out the Angler.
The Anglers are a little shocked. I guess it's just because the whole. They're a spell that Troy's going to counter.
Right, but it.
It just wins the game like so effectively.
Yeah, I mean, once it hits the table, there are very few things that Troy can interact with it. And he obviously does have ways to push it through. I mean, it's arguable that a resolved Angler can win the game better than
Yeah.
a resolved
Well,
Gear.
anyway, so it looks like they both kept their opening 7s.
Mhm.
Both some
Large.
solid hands. Jordan got 2 Crypt Rats, a Gary, a Wrenched Mind, and a Sign in Blood. This could be a really interesting turn.
Interesting. Yeah.
Troy had the Cloud
We
of
got
Fairies,
Cloud-
but no counter magic in hand.
Do you think we're going to see an early gush here if something bad comes to
Well, I can't if if Jordan wrench mines here, which is what I would do in the situation,
Hmm.
maybe not. I don't know. There's 2 mana up. I like the wrench mine here, but that just plays right into Troy being able to gush and save some cards.
Well, yeah, he doesn't know
Oh,
that.
meanwhile, Jordan gets that second swamp off the cycled land.
Mm.
Maybe he already had
Uh,
it. Thinking of moving around here. Oh, just opts to sign in blood. Just opts to draw 2 cards.
Yeah, that's fair. It's
Probably
innocuous. It's not.
probably the correct play.
Yeah, I guess he. That's okay. I guess he doesn't mind discarding his 3 Crypt Rats. He'd rather just see further into his deck. Yeah, because this is the point in the game where his deck needs to see more swamps.
Right.
So since he doesn't have them in hand, he would rather, he doesn't have any plays until he can find a swamp. So he doesn't want to wrench mind until he has to. If he had more lands that he could just sit there playing lands, then yeah, wrench mind would make sense.
Yeah.
But you need the sign in blood to be able to get somewhere.
So now
Here's
he's going for the
duress.
duress. All right, I like this play.
So we'll see if we see a gush here, or if because he's got to be going for the gush. There's no snap isn't even that
No, it
great
resolves. It
in
just
this matchup
resolves.
either.
So
Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
yeah, taking the gushes, and yeah, he's just gonna bring up the chat to remind himself of what cards he has. Maybe write those down somewhere.
Hmm. Because I guess if you cast the gush, oh yeah, because now here comes the wrench mine. Not
Oh
that Troy
boy.
would know this, but
Yeah,
that
and
is
that's just
brutal.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
So he's just going to sit there with a Frostburn Weird in hand and some dudes on the table.
Yeah,
That might not be there for much longer if a certain Crypt Rats has its say.
and I looks like Troy doesn't really have anything to do with his. He got a preordain. This
Yeah,
might,
he's
and he has 2 mana, so
okay.
he might be able to Curse of Chains and Ninja of the Deep Hours, just not cards that help him right now.
Well, Ninja would have been if he had done this preordained
Pre-combat,
pre-combat.
which I felt like you wanted to do there.
You do want to do for exactly that reason.
Yeah,
So I think he's probably realized it by this point. He is putting him back on top. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Definitely wanted to do that pre-combat.
Curse of Chains, though, I don't know what that's doing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why he brought those in because there's
I think he brought them in for the anglers, perhaps, just because if he can't deal with the resolved angler at all. But Jordan went ahead and boarded those out, so that Curse of Chains really doesn't do much.
yeah, and even when he lands this Ko-Ambage, which is having it tap each turn, all that does is control when he uses the ability.
Right,
He's still going to use it.
right. It
Now,
doesn't do anything.
interesting. I do find it interesting. I presume that Jordan's going to go ping with the witches to victim during combat at some point.
Well, Jordan
I-
looks like he's doing it at upkeep. He's going to go ahead and victim here.
That's fair.
He's going to go ahead and get the
Yeesh.
Geist once right now.
Hmm.
And so that he can't attack with it this turn.
Right. That makes sense. See, what's interesting to me is that he didn't just throw down the Crypt Rats.
Yeah, that is a little surprising. And now Troy's going to be able to draw a card.
Because he could have been able to lay down Crypt Rats this turn, and then next turn activate Crypt Rats for 2, and then Victim
Right,
Knight.
right.
So,
The other thing here is that if he doesn't kill this Geist, being able to repeatedly bounce the Geist with... Well, I guess he can't really do that. The snap's gone. My bad.
yeah, he got rid of Snap. But Snap, though, is a card that's not doing a ton in this matchup.
Right. And here's the Crypt Rats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Crypt
he's
Rats
got
for
the witches.
Crypt Rat for 3 here is a little subpar because it's going to kill the Witches too.
But he's going to need to. And that's
Right.
going to put him at a pretty low life total, but now that he's got the Gary to bring him back up, sorry.
Yes.
If he can draw into that land,
Right.
he's going to be in a real good
And
position.
this is the same issue he had after I watched the videos, that in the match against me, he had the Gary, he had all the cards, and he just couldn't get the lands.
Yeah, so we'll see if this game fares a little bit better for him. I think he's put himself in a nice position for it, though.
The risky thing, though, is that Troy just keeps drawing creatures, which is going to make this big Crypt Rats activation a lot worse for Jordan.
Right. Depending on what he lands here. If he lands the Spire Golem, that's that's going to be awkward. He's going to have to do it for 4. If he lands... Ooh, let's see if he activates the Witches to make the trade. Because what he can do here is activate the Witches targeting the Ninja.
Right, to offer a
and then
trade.
Troy can target the Witches right back. Now, he's got the Crypt Rats on board, so he doesn't really need to do that. Trying to think if there's anything else tricksy that he can do right here, but not really. We'll see if he draws the Swamp here. I presume he can just land the Gary, but he doesn't want to. Yep, playing the Kumbaj Witches instead of the Crypt Rats earlier.
And he
is
draws
really
another
a
Witches.
sort of awkward situation. Yeah, I mean that's devotion that he's not going to be able to have later. I just feel like that sequencing, putting him in a really lot.
Yeah, that's very, very confusing. And now we can see if... I imagine if Jordan blocks here, or if Troy blocks here, it's just going to force their activation, and so he doesn't block. But, I don't know, I feel like Troy's actually okay with that activation, you know?
Right. He's still got a Stormbound Dice, he's still got all of his dudes in hand.
So
he almost wanted to force the activation.
So what's going to happen here is upkeep, it looks like he's going to Crypt Rats for 2.
2?
Yeah. So he's gonna kill the ninja, and he's gonna bounce the Stormbound Geist, making it unable to deal damage. And then he's gonna go ahead and Witches the other Geist. This playing the Crypt Rats second really made this awkward.
So what it means then is that he does not take an additional damage from that.
Right.
From that exchange.
Right.
That's why he sequenced it that way. So the Witches and the Geist both still die, but he's at 7 life instead of 6, and Troy's at 17 rather than 16. And he needs to be real careful with his life total. So that was a clean play right there, but I don't know that it's going to be enough to bring him into this one if he can't draw that land.
Yeah, so Troy's just gonna throw a bunch of fairies on the board.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he just saw a Crypt Rats and a Kumbaj Witch and another Crypt Rats hit the yard, so...
Little does he know that Jordan's hand is Crypt Rats Kumbaj Witch.
Yeah. But that's not doing a lot if you can't activate him.
Right.
So...
It looks like Troy's hovering over this Spire Golem. He's going for it. Yeah, he's just going to throw everything out on the table.
Yeah, I mean, that's lethal next turn, right there.
And Jordan draws a land. Well, there's the land, so it'll stall, but it won't really be enough.
Yeah, he can drop a Gary, which won't do anything. The only other option is play Crypt Rats, activate for 1.
Right, but
and that will save him 1 life. I mean, he's
playing Gary just to stall a little bit. It brings him out of lethal range, and the next turn he can play the second Gary, which may not be enough actually.
I don't think it will, because that gained him 2 life. Next turn's going to gain him 4 life, but he's getting hit for 7 each turn. So, I mean, next turn he can play Crypt Rats, but I don't know if he's going to have enough life to activate it. Profitable.
He'll be at 2 after this turn.
Right. So he can activate for 1, but I still don't think he's not going to be able to gain any life. That's not going to be anything. I don't know.
And Troy's just going to continue to play more creatures here, just throwing out the weird just because.
Yeah.
Jordan's untap. He finds another land. And it looks like he just throw down the second Gary, but it's not going to do anything.
Right.
I think he's just going to make Troy finish it.
Outs.
Nope, he's canceling it, and he sees that it doesn't matter.
Let's see. Are we going to get a handshake here?
Well, this is just game 2, so...
Oh, that's right.
No handshake just yet. Nope, alright, he's just going to cast it then.
Throwing down a Gary. Okay.
Bluff a disfigure or something, I don't know.
I suppose so. Okay. I'm going to step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, we see more creatures for Troy, just in case. Doesn't matter a whole lot. He's just gonna swing with the team, and that should just be it for this game. Yep, and there it goes. So we're back to the sideboard. I imagine we're gonna see Troy mix it up a little bit. He's bringing in the other Stitch Drake. That play there with the playing the Kumud Witch instead of the Crypt Rats definitely led largely to, I think, that defeat there. Just put him in a really awkward spot where he had to just lose value. He had to activate Crypt Rats to kill his own witches. Just did not seem like an effective play. Surprisingly counterspell light matchup too, which definitely you would think that would be in the mono black control deck's favor with all of its creature removal, but he's hided a lot of that out too, so I don't know. He's leaving in the Curse of Chains, which I'm not really convinced about.
Yeah, I don't know that that actually does anything in this matchup, even with the anglers.
Right. He cut the one Stitcher, the Stitch Drake. I think he brought it in by accident last game, and he just left it in. He cut two Snaps.
Snap just doesn't do anything really in this matchup because of so many enters the battlefield effects on
right.
Jordan's side of the field. It's just actively helping him out most of the time.
He brought in Deprive, it looks like.
That makes sense. Because the one thing that Snap does make sense against
my fault.
Angler.
Deprive was already. He brought in Mana Leak.
See, that I can get behind.
Yeah.
Because I think more counter spells to deal with those real problem spells from Jordan's side of the table.
It looks like
will go
Jordan
a long
just
way.
ran it back.
Because the one thing that Jordan has to read is whether he's playing against the aggro or the control side.
Right. So it looks like they both kept their opening sevens. Jordan again kept a one land with a cycle. Going with the turn one duress.
Like.
I like it. Two counterspell. Oh wow, this is what a hand that he sees here.
Yeah.
This is exactly the hand that mono blue control wants to see.
Yeah. The only thing that would be better, brainstorm.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure he'll draw into it in one of these next two turns.
Takes the gush.
Probably on his second turn. Yeah, that's correct.
The only real option there. Now, I guess taking one counterspell might have been okay, but
when he has two counterspells, it gets less useful.
And now Jordan's forced to actually cast that Baron more.
Mm-hmm.
Not great.
Yeah, but not that bad either, because the only thing he was going to be casting this turn anyway was Kuombage Witches, and that's not doing a lot.
Yeah, he has the Disfigure, which is going to go ahead and cast before Troy plays a land.
Right.
So he sees that Troy didn't show the card, which was a Frostburn Weird, and he's just going to go ahead and get rid of it now while Troy can't counter it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Get that extra bit of information, but get rid of it. So.
And there's the Weird. It comes down on the table.
Okay.
Here's another land for Jordan, which he definitely needed.
So we'll see. I don't know if he's going to be looking to.
He's going to play the
Ninja
Witches.
next turn?
Interesting.
Huh. So now he's got something to block the Weird with.
Right.
But I mean, the Weird can go to 3/2, right?
Yeah, so he can trade. He can force a trade.
Not a trade.
Oh, yeah, he can. If the Weird goes to 3/2, he pings it with the Witch. He blocks and pings.
Not this turn, though.
Right.
However, Troy just went in with not enough mana to do that.
Yeah.
So there's really no reason for Troy not to block here. Or Jordan.
No, he can still go to 3/2 here. It's a 1/4. He can still go to 3/2. He can pump it twice. But he's going to switch the Ninja anyway, so.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Yep. So it's perfectly reasonable on both sides. That whole play, I'm being silly. Cool. Looks like we've got a card. What do
What's
you
a
get?
Build Splitter?
Okay. So if he's a Flip Delver, that would be nice, but it's going to combo well with the Spell Starter Sprite.
Yep.
So we'll see if he decides to lay out the Delver or
Looks like he's going for the
hold up the Spell
Rager.
Starter or what.
Jordan drew another Duress, and I kind of like casting that, even though it sort of makes the rest of his plays this turn a little subpar.
I mean, Duress into Sign in Blood isn't bad.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to go Sign in Blood first. That's probably correct.
Mm-hmm. Because he might be able to disfigure so that he can deal with more things.
And then he's just going to go with the duress.
Right.
Silent Boy got him another Rager and a Victim of Night.
Okay, so that's got him in a decent spot. He's going to be able to put a little bit of pressure on the board.
So now he has his choice of Bone Splitter and 2 counter spells. For take
Probably.
from the duress.
So what do you think he's going to go for?
I like the
Going
Bone
for
Splitter.
Bone Splitter?
Yeah, okay, it looks like he just took the Bone
Looks like
Splitter
he
as
did.
well.
Again, when there's 2 counter spells, that redundancy, getting rid of just one of them isn't as big a deal as,
Well, I mean,
as getting rid of
I do see the
singleton
argument,
Bone
though, that-
Splitter. That's a recurring threat.
Yeah. And he can just always play around the counter spells.
Exactly. You can't really play around a Bone
Well, I
Splitter.
mean, he knows that, he knows when the counter spell's there. The biggest threat with the blue deck is being able to counter things when your opponent doesn't know you can counter them. But
Yeah, that's definitely the element of surprise is no longer there. Obviously, Jordan being Jordan, we've been playing around that anyway. But
yeah,
we'll see what he decides to go with here.
he started casting the weird again, but he decided to change his mind. It looked like.
We'll see if he attacks in.
Nope, he's gonna go for the weird. All right, that's a bold
free
choice.
combo. Well, he can do Weird and Delver.
Right, but he can't
And just
leave up
hope
counter
for a
magic.
flip. Oh no, he can't do Delver. Oh, what he can do, he can attack in here.
Offer
If
a
Jordan
trade,
blocks.
then he'll play the Delver.
No, because then Jordan can just activate Clonbash Witches on his turn.
Well, he's offering
don't
the.
know.
I think he's offering the trade here with the witches.
Right, but Jordan has no reason to make that trade. We'll see. Yeah, he's just gonna hold
Yeah.
on to the Delver. It looks like.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it just gets sniped.
and even if he wanted to make the trade, he wouldn't do it in combat. He'd wait till end of turn.
Yeah, that's true. Just in case he played a Delver or something.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what he's looking for here.
Rager gives him a disfigure. It's pretty good at this spot.
Nice. Yeah. So he can just trade off his Rager into the D powers there. And he can disfigure whatever.
So Troy draws an island, which is
It's the
actually a
board on
very
both
big
sides.
draw for him here. Getting to 4th mana is a
It-
really big deal for this deck.
Yeah, and yet again, we're seeing the Kuambash, which is having a huge impact. In the game that
Yeah.
I had, the games that I had with Jordan, that was a big role player.
Oh yeah, Troy can't even cast this Delver here or the Sprite because they're just not going to stay on the board.
And he can't even react to it because all of the spells that he's going to cast are reactionary. They're counter spells. And since that thing's out on the table, nothing you can do about it. That is the one argument for Snap, Boomerang, all the other
Right, on your own
bounce,
creatures.
is that you can... Well, you can bounce their creatures and then counter them.
Right, right.
Snap specifically.
So we're seeing Rager targeting Ninja, Witches targeting Weird. And this could be a huge blowout here.
Pretty typical.
Oh no, he brings the Witches back actually.
Right, because I think he just recognized that.
Oh no, he brought both the blockers back. Interesting.
Not sure what he's doing there. I think he just wants to trade off the Rager for the Ninja.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that's what he's just doing. He's trading the Rager for the Ninja.
Take the damage, yeah.
And if he pumps the Weird again the second time, looks like he did not. So he recognized the threat of Disfigure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well played there.
I'll just land go.
Now, he can activate Kuambash Witches and Disfigure. If he wants to.
I think he's thinking about it. He's hovering at this end of turn step here.
That's really not a bad idea.
Well, this figure probably won't. Okay, he's going for it.
Because there's not a lot of 2 toughness creatures that will get killed by Disfigure that won't get killed by Kuombash Witches.
So now
And
we have an
Frostburn
interesting
Weird-
thing here. Troy can actually sprite this disfigure, and he's going to do that.
Ah, interesting. So that means that Jordan then has to kill Bright, but he's not going to be able to kill a Weird.
Right.
Huh. Interesting. So it looks like he's just let it, and he's just going to ping the Sprite.
Yep.
And that means his life's going to go down a little bit more, so...
Mono Black is
He's...
pretty fast and loose with his life total.
Mm-hmm. And Mono Blue is an aggro deck,
Yeah.
to some extent. So.
Despite all the counter spells. And
It just
Jordan,
has a bunch of
Jordan
counter
gets
spells
lane
for
number
some
5,
reason.
which is a pretty big deal here.
Ooh.
Because he can just slam
Yeah.
the scary.
But is he?
Well,
Or is he
Troy
gonna
can't
get
counter
Rager?
it. I think this is the time to do it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, nope, he's going for the Rager. I really don't like this.
I think I'm with you. Normally I like how Jordan plays this, but...
Right, he
but
wants to build up the devotion, but being able to guaranteed resolve a Gary, that's a big deal.
Guaranteed. Because, I mean, he's got the Rager, he's got the Victim of Night, which puts him in a really solid board position, but life totals.
Right.
And he knows what's in his hand, so...
Yeah, he knows all 3 cards in Troy's hand right now.
Another Kuombash, which is... I mean, he's got the devotion, if he can resolve that thing. But Troy's sitting on such a high life total,
Yeah.
he can afford to just sort of hang out.
Right. And so now he's got to ponder. I can't see Troy okay, 2 guys and a curse is what Troy sees off this ponder. But no, anyway,
Yeah.
I can't see Troy not leaving up 2 mana in the near future. Like maybe
Yeah,
if he takes one of
he
these
might get
guys,
greedy.
yeah, he might take one of these guys here.
I can see him doing that. I don't think he should, but I
Well,
can see him doing it.
The argument here is that Troy's not doing. He has no board. Like he has a Frostburn Weird, but that doesn't do anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
With a Rager and 2 Witches on the board,
Right.
like even with the one
We
Witch
can
and
afford to
the
just sit
Rager,
there.
he can Jordan can trade if Troy ever attacks. So Troy has no presence,
Yeah.
and so he takes the Geist, and it looks like he's thinking about casting it.
Is he going to try and force combat first? No.
No,
All right. Let's see.
he's gonna cast it, and so
Looks like he's going for it.
this is gonna be a huge Gary for Jordan this turn.
So that's a...
It's gonna come in for Devotion's gonna be 7.
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts.
Now let's see if Troy chooses the Rager here.
Well, he
No.
doesn't matter. The other witches can't ping anyway, so
Oh, that's right. I thought that one didn't have summoning sickness. They don't have eyes.
yeah, it's a little tricky over here too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he draws a chittering
All right.
rats. Don't do it. Don't
Don't
go
do
for
it.
it. This is your chance, Jordan.
Stop. Wasn't there another Stormhound Geist on top, though?
Yeah, I think there might be.
So this might actually happen again. Okay, there's
No,
the
there
Gary.
you go. Yeah.
So Jordan's 10 versus Troy's 19 goes to 17 versus 12.
Yep.
Just like that. So my name is Gary. Nice to
Yep.
meet you.
Well, the Stormbound Geist here are pretty good for Troy.
Mm-hmm. Although, I guess it doesn't negate him damage, but if he thinks he's going to be able to take care of it with that Victim of Night soon enough,
Yeah.
he can ping the Stormbound Geist twice.
Right,
With the
right.
Kuombash Witches. And we'll see what Troy does. Troy can also get the Rager killed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is an exchange that's okay with Jordan.
Yeah. So just the Geist.
So let's see if Jordan, quote, blocks it, close quote, with his Phyrexian Rager.
Well, he'd be blocking it and still taking 2 damage.
No, because if Troy
Oh,
chooses
right,
the
to
Rager,
Rager. Right.
yeah, that's the thing. That's conditional, but I mean, given the life totals here, I think he would make that choice.
It seems
But
likely.
it looks like he didn't opt for it, though.
What did Jordan
Interesting.
draw? I didn't catch this draw.
I mean, given that he has the Victim of Night and the Chittering Rats he's planning to land next turn, I don't know. That seems... Don't know how I feel about that. But...
Like, our stream is lagging behind here just a little bit.
Okay.
Did it freeze? I don't know what's going on.
Looks like he's getting in with the Gary. Do we need to pause?
No, there's just some weird visual nonsense going on.
Okay. So Jordan is attacking with just Gary. If Troy really wanted to, he could trade here. But no, he can't, because the Clone Body Witches can just activate
Yep.
them onboard tricks.
Oh, because Jordan drew a second Gary.
Ooh, goodness. Yeah, so he's going to roll out the Chittering Rats, which is...
Yeah. And Troy's going to
absolutely
just
correct.
counter it. Just
Yeah.
because he can, you know.
I've got all these piles of counter spells.
Right.
Because he would rather have another card than counterspell right now, which is what that represents.
Absolutely, exactly.
And incidentally, Jordan happens to not get a 2/2, but
The big thing is that he doesn't get that 2 more devotion.
mm-hmm.
Alright. Let's see what happens over here on Troy's side. If he draws a land here, that could be huge. A 5th land lets him play a Geist and leave up a counterspell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we got a...
All right.
Oh, Curse of Change. Not very useful. I'm
No.
surprised he chose to keep that in.
I am very curious, and I want to ask him once this.
I
once
think...
this match is
I imagine
over,
it's for... He thinks the Anglers are still in the deck.
probably. Yeah. We'll have to chat with him about that after this, but I suspect you're right.
Oh, he's just going to go ahead and cast it on a Witch.
I mean, they're not doing anything otherwise.
Right.
You kind of have to use them, so you may as well. That forces... See, that reduces the Witch's ability to impact the board.
Right.
So it is doing something here. It's not doing a ton,
Yeah.
but it's doing something. So
And Jordan's going to just ping the face.
Mm-hmm. I think we should be using them to push through damage from now on. And now that Troy's chosen him, he's probably going to activate the other one as well. It's possible Troy could have saved himself some damage by targeting the Rager there. I'm not sure how cavalier he wants to be with his life total, though. He might be wanting to try and end the game with some flyers before it gets any further.
Well, the second Gary is lethal now.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously won't resolve
it's never
as
gonna-
is, but...
Right. It's never going to hit the table.
Well, there's a Victim of Night
There's
that
the
he's going to use here, and he might counter this.
I mean, that represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that only saves him 2 life there. It's not that huge a swing.
It's very tempting to counter it, though, because that leaves him with no blockers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it doesn't actually mean that much in the grand
Right.
scheme of things. Once next turn rolls around, he'll have the Stormbound Geist that he can keep up for blocks that then becomes a 3/3, which is even better for
But
blocks.
he went for the
So-
counterspell,
All right.
and that's
you
going to seal the game.
ate the bait.
Yep.
That'll do it.
Now let's see if Jordan attacks first, or if he just goes main phase 1 windmill slam this Grey Merchant. Chooses not to go ahead and just do a ping with the witches in response to the curse of
Goodness,
chains.
I
And
wonder why.
immediately just
Ah,
slams the Grey Merchant.
Okay. That'll do it. So that's 2-1 in favor of Jordan.
Yep.
And he pings with the witches just for funsies.
No, that's all. Yeah, 2-1. Yep. Oh, I wasn't updating the little game thing on the
Yeah, you
right.
haven't been updating the sidebar at all.
Whoops.
All right. Well, looks like that solidifies our our rankings for the first trimester.
Yeah. You're in at 3-0. I'm at 2-1. With this game, Jordan moves to 1-2, and Troy sadly hangs out at 0-3.